Hi everyone, I am very excited to join you today for an Instagram Live, and I know it's been a while, but we've been studying here. So I am very excited to announce that I am now duly licensed. So my name is Zeahlot Lopez. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I'm also a licensed professional clinical counselor. As of this month, I'm smashing goals for October. And today I actually wanted to talk about something that's coming up for a lot of us, which are family gatherings with some difficult conversations at dinner. So it's either extremely awkward or extremely funny or whatever it is you want to call it. But all of us at some point or another have had that difficult conversation with auntie asking us, when you getting married? When are you having babies? Why haven't you married her? Are you breaking up again? Are you guys together? Are you not? Are you guys divorced? Just all these awkward questions that do not need to be asked. But it's family, so we're not really sure how to answer these questions, right? So today what I want to go over is 7 signs that you were born into a dysfunctional family. And a lot of us say, well, you know, my family's family, and that's absolutely true. But if we're able to recognize certain things that we can change or we can alter or we can address a little bit better than we do right now, that would make the world a better place, right? Because guess what? My practice right now, it's booming. My phone will not stop ringing. Why? Because the holidays are coming up. So it's awkward conversations at Thanksgiving, awkward conversations for New Year's and for Christmas, and whatever holiday that it is that people celebrate. So I'm gonna share today, once again, 7 signs that we were born into a dysfunctional family. So we gonna go with number 1, all right? So I'm gonna read this off. First of all, let's start with the definition of a dysfunctional family, right? So, the simple definition of a dysfunctional family is one that discourages you from trusting your true self. So you develop a false self. False self, it's also known as the shadow self or the lost self. It's the part of ourselves that family just rip from us when we're little. It's the part of us that they say, nope, you can't be this person. We're born into this world, these beautiful, fantastic people that are undomesticated. But later, because of what we are told we are able to do and what we're not, we change. We change and we let go that part of ourselves is that true self that wants to sing, that wants to be the artist, that wants to be the philanthropist. When people say that won't make money, you need to be a doctor, you need to be a nurse, you need to be a lawyer, rather than chase purpose in alignment with oneself. So what does this all mean, right? It means that you are entitled to be all that you are, but unfortunately, many people have unconscious limitations. So it stays with us. It's like this cassette that just records and it plays over and over and over. You were told that because you were a woman, because you were born in the month of April, that you can't do such, such, and such, right? That don't make no sense. You need to be true to yourself. You are not alone in this battle. So this is coming from a family that substantially has asked you, the person, right, to adjust to the needs that they have, the collective over the individualism. And as a Latina, I completely understand the collectivism. It's what's better for the unit, what's better for the tribe. And there's this healthy balance that we can definitely have between individualism and collectivism, right? So what's the difference? Collectivism is, it's all for the good of everybody. And if it doesn't suit everybody, it's not for you. This is when people say that because of the prestige of our family, or everybody in our family has been doctors and lawyers and everybody's a carpenter in our family, so that's what you need to do. That's not the right way to go about it. So that's what I mean by difficulties within certain types of units and family. Culturally, we see a lot of cultures such as Middle Eastern, Latinos, African Americans, Asians that have collective ideas. So here's where we find a healthy balance. Then we go to the extreme of individualism. Individualism is 100% just the I versus the we, and it's what's better for me. In this type of relationship, we find people that say, you know, maybe I'll go once and see my folks for Christmas. Maybe I'll see them once at Thanksgiving. I'll share a drumstick or whatnot and make nice talk. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the person is getting everything that they need from that balance and that component, right? So the best balance is the one that works for you. I'm not here to preach that one works better than the other, but it's knowing what's the balance and is it a healthy mix. And these 7 signs right here are going to show us whether or not it's the best idea, right? So moving forward with this, let's see. Number 1 of the 7 signs that you were born into a dysfunctional family is as follows. You spend too much time trying to please others. That's a lot of us. That is a lot of us, and this is something that frequently pops up in my practice. Day in, day out on this couch is just like, Z, I cannot fulfill what it is that they want. What do they want me to do? They want me to cook the tamales much better than I do. They want me to raise my baby a certain way, right? They want me to do such and such and such. My mom says she's not happy if I haven't talked to so-and-so in my family, right? This is all stemming from guilt. So let me read about it, right? If you ask yourself what you want to do for the evening, for the weekend, and so on, and you have no idea what to answer to that question is, you may be spending way too much time and energy trying to make others happy or pleased rather than yourself. You probably, in your role of your family of origin, adapted to someone else's needs and sacrificed your own along the way. This is the person that says, it's okay, it's fine. I'm gonna miss out in such and such, but oh no, it's okay. Their facial affect, their tone, their body does not match what it is that they truly want. In Spanish, there's this saying that we use that says, we swallowed our sorrow, we swallowed our anger, we swallowed anything it is that we was feeling about that situation. And that is not healthy because over time, it builds up inside the body, and that's what manifests into illness. That's what creates other things inside us. Later, our body's hurting and we're wondering why. This is why, because we give into other people's wants and needs to an unhealthy extent. It's perfectly okay to give from a loving place, but not at the expense of your own person, spirit, and well-being. So that's number 1. I'll repeat for those of you just joining us. The number 1 sign that you come from a dysfunctional family, that you were born into one, is you spend too much time trying to please others. Moving on to number 2. It's related to number 1. You seem to feel guilty a lot. Guilt starts to come up as a pattern a lot over and over. It's, am I doing enough? Am I a good son? Am I doing what's right by my family? Once again, at the expense of your own well-being. You feel guilty about doing things for yourself. You feel guilty for your anger, your resentment towards people you think you should not be, and feel guilty when others are upset with you. This caused by your erroneous thinking that you are responsible for other people's feelings. You were trained, in essence, to do what is impossible, and that's to make others feel happy. This is a whole nother Instagram live right here. So related to number 1, you feel guilty a lot. The number 1 rule for happiness to just come knocking through the door is you are not responsible for other people. You are not responsible for their feelings. You are not responsible for what it is that they say and do. The minute that a mother, that a woman that is carrying a child gives birth and has that baby and cuts the cord, there is immediately 2 separate entities. And the dilemma with this is that in a lot of families, people like to take in consideration or like to think that if they do something, that's a reflection of me. That makes sense, right? That all the fruit falls from the tree and the branches. But ultimately, all humans are responsible for their own actions. And we are not supposed to feel guilty for what other people say and do. That is why guilt starts to build up and we feel that, and it's just ickiness. So we're gonna move on to number 3, right? Oh, but wait, there's an extra point. Also related to 1 and 2, you tend to pick people that have trouble reciprocating in your life. So this comes from stemming from a family. You grew up in a family that it's like, well, so-and-so said this. Don't you feel shame? What are you doing wearing that? What is your mother going to say, right? What's your auntie gonna say? And why is this so important to understand? Because later on in our life, for partners, for friendships, for work-related partnerships, we tend to pick people that don't reciprocate, letting us be who we are without them making us feel guilty. It sounds a little like this. It's people that say, hey, you know what? I'm actually gonna go do this and this. And you say, oh, okay, yeah, I'll go with you. And then one day you're not able to, and they say, oh, you didn't join me? You're such a horrible friend. I can't believe you just left me alone, right? When it is really out of your control, you had something come up. It's people that don't understand that there's independence between people. It's such a beautiful quality when people are able to know how to do the I and the we in any type of relationship, right? Whether it's family, romantic, friendships, and business, right? It's this, the I and the we. And there's this beautiful balance of waves. And when we have this, we have not independence, not dependence, but interdependence. And that is a beautiful thing, especially when we know exactly that that other person can bring to the table just as much as you. So that is important to know, right? Yes, yes, the waves, right? Okay, so here we go. So we have number 3. You constantly feel that the relationship is extremely and very uneven. Of course, due to your false sense of responsibility and guilt, you stay in these uneven relationships for too long, right? Yes! So these are the people that are searching for services. They call me and they say, Z, I can't do this anymore. I am carrying the load for my partner. They don't understand that I have a life of my own. They don't understand that, I need to sometimes just go to the bathroom alone. I just need to go take a bath. I need to go to the gym, just get some groceries. These are the type of things that you see that it's like 10 calls in 2 minutes, right? They cannot be alone. There is such an important component to having a healthy and non-toxic relationship, right? If y'all feel me, go ahead, show some love, right? This is so true. And people, unfortunately, they stay in their own hell. They decide to cultivate and to have these relationships keep going. And the most unhealthy part of all of this is that they fall out of one relationship that is codependent right into another because they are not doing the work. And this is a lot of us. It doesn't necessarily need to be a romantic relationship. It could even be with a parent that doesn't know healthy boundaries. This is when we can implement those boundaries, because if we don't have those in any type of relationship, we're not going to be clear with what our goal is and what our roles are. This is what therapy can help with, right? If you guys are just tuning in, like I said, my therapist practice is booming because there's people working on this day in, day out. They leave in my office telling me, Z, I know what boundaries are now. Z, I know what a toxic relationship is. Now I know why I'm dating Joe Schmo and Sam and I'm not getting a good guy. This is why, because we need to be able to identify red flags from the jump, right? All right, moving into number 4. Number 4 sign that you are born into a dysfunctional family is as such. Here's an interesting one. There is either too much or not enough conflict in your intimate relationship. This is a favorite of mine, especially as a Latina, because we have a saying in Spanish that says, nos gusta la mala vida. We love the bad life. We love when they treat us horrible. We love when they don't call us back, when they tell us, I hate you, I hate you. Why? Because we think we deserve it, because we've heard nothing but this in our life. We know no other way to relate to another other than drama, throwing things. Even in some circumstances, it gets extreme where they hit each other. And to us, that's what we think love is, because that's how we grew up. That's what we saw in our home, right? If you were always bickering and arguing without any listening or resolution, you may have come from a family where people were very reactive and ineffective in soothing themselves. If you never have conflict and things are always agreeable, you may have come from a family where emotions were swept under the rug, right? Just kind of dismissed and not dealt with. Both high conflict and too low conflict create intimate relationships that can be unsatisfying and draining. These will drain you as relationships. All you will see is the back and forth. These are the type of people that tell you like, hey girl, we're together again this month, right? This is a story we've all heard. And this is why therapy will help, because sometimes the friends, they just don't want to hear it no more. But a trained mental health professional can be there for you. They can hold space. They could let you know, well, what it is that you want to do in this relationship. And the most effective therapy is meeting the client where they're at. I am a strong believer as a provider of mental health, psychotherapy, counseling. I do not tell my client what to do. I sit there in the room in the sacred space and I literally just hold space for them. I wait till they're ready to decide what it is that's best for them in their life. It is not my business to tell them what to do. It is to hold that ability to hear them and see them. And sometimes for some people, it's the first time ever. So moving forward to number 5. Number 5 sign that we're born into an unhealthy family is you get really hard on yourself and tend to be perfectionistic. Yes, that's a lot of us, right? Especially those that are professionals, that are trying to get things right, just trying to show up as them as their best self, right? So this is tough. And one of my favorite authors, Brene Brown, she wrote the amazing book called The Gifts of Imperfect Parenting. I've read this book from like 2 to 3 times. And she definitely points out that perfectionism stems usually from a family of origin or growing up in one where you had to be your best self, otherwise you were shamed or you were not accepted. And this is tough because we grow up thinking that I'm only lovable if I get straight A's. I'm only lovable if I'm the good boy today, if I'm the good girl today, versus shaming the behavior of we could have made different choices, right? And this is tough because a lot of people don't even realize that we are parenting that way, or we're raising children, or we're being role models for them in that way. It is such a beautiful thing when parents are able to say, sweetie, I messed up, this is what mama did today, and this is what mama could do better. That is one of the most beautiful things you could show your children, vulnerability. Showing them that we're human, we're imperfect, and we make mistakes, right? These are the keys right here to leading a healthy family, and we can avoid this, right? Number 5 sign that we were born into an unhealthy, dysfunctional family. Moving on to number 6. Number 6 is you have a very hard time relaxing. That's a lot of us too. So what does it say? If you ever do stop, you may notice how uptight you are, how stressed your body is. It's bleeding for a break, right? However, often people that have this problem are in perpetual motion, always having to do one or more things on their list. They are multitaskers. There's the people that don't want to feel, right? It's so uncomfortable to feel feelings. Who wants to do that, right? Maybe just Drake and his feelings, but other than that, it's so important to be aware of what it is that you're avoiding. And busyness sometimes is good, and busyness sometimes is avoidance. So it's really asking yourself, what about what I'm doing right now is productive? Or is it me just trying to avoid what it is that I've been feeling some kind of way this week, right? So relax. Let yourself know that you deserve some self-care. And a lot of families don't even know what self-care is, don't preach it, or they show shame according to the amount that you have, right? If you go get a pedicure, if you go get a massage, if you just have time for yourself, you're selfish, right? These are signs that you were born into an unhealthy family. Last but not least, we have one more. You are an extreme as a parent. Let's take a look at this one. You are either too easygoing, letting your kids run the house, run it like a boot camp, right? Or you're extremely strict. You don't let them do nothing other than what you say at the drop of a dime, right? Authoritarian. Thereby, you are telling your children that they cannot be the way that they are naturally are, right? In this case, you probably come from a house of one extreme parent or the other. In each parent representing either an extreme that did not develop healthy boundaries. So knowing of what is the structure you come from in your family of origin. I cannot tell you how many times people come into my practice, they're like, Z, you know, I got this going on in my life, but it has nothing to do with my childhood. Okay, that's fine. But if we take a look to actually where our thoughts started and where they originated from, where are we learning this from? It's from our caretakers of origin. It's not necessarily mom and dad sometimes. Sometimes it's mom, sometimes it's dad, or auntie and grandma, right? That are raising the babies. What matters is that you are fully aware. That way you are woke in regards to what it is that's leading you day by day. 80% of our thoughts are unconscious. We are not even aware that they're there. And by us knowing what is it that I'm feeling at this Thanksgiving table, right? Eating this turkey and this mashed potatoes, right? And my peas. What am I feeling right now when they're shaming me at the table, telling me this and that, right? It's so important. And the gift we could give ourselves rather than materialistic things at Christmas is peace of mind, right? So that's all I have for you guys today, and I'm out of breath here. So if you guys know anybody that needs to know if they were born into an unhealthy family or not, or even just humorously be like, hey, you need to, watch this, please feel free to share, tag them, let them know your girl's here. So once again, my name is Zeahlot Lopez. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist in the state of California. I'm also an emotional development coach, and if there's anybody who has a difficult Latina mother, let them know. Z can help you out, right? I got plenty of practice, and I just love working with women, working on the I before the we, because it's so important to spend money on counseling, right? It's not just about the dress, not just about the shoes or the red bottoms, but it's about being well overall. So once again, thank you for your time.